So the 2025 Ducati Panigale V4 seems to be a superbike that's either a hate it or love it. And I think that's because for once, Ducati gave us a superbike that was more function over form. And I'm not talking necessarily about the looks of this bike because looks are very subjective. I'm talking about all the Panigales in the past that have had a single-sided swing arm. This is Ducati's first Panigale with a double-sided swing arm, or should I say hollow symmetrical swing arm. At least that's what Ducati wants us to call it. Welcome to Two Wheels in Focus. Now throughout this video I'm going to be calling this a superbike. I know, for some of y'all in the UK you're going to get mad that I call this a superbike, but let's be honest, every journalist in the world are calling these superbikes, so these are now technically, in journalistic terms, superbikes. So before I show you guys what this swing arm looks like, I wanted to talk about what Two Wheels in Focus is. This segment is going to be a simpler style of videos where we mostly look at motorcycles from top to bottom, and it's a lot slower of a pace of videos than the vlogs or the movies that we create here on Adobe Moto. This will be your chance to kind of get in the comment section and talk about some of your favorite bikes. I'm definitely going to get in depth into some gear. I'm actually learning about suspension currently with the help of a few people in the industry. I think you guys are going to like this segment. I already like this segment. Without further ado, let's go look at this swing arm. So I have the nut removed here. Watch what happens when I take off this pin or axle. Okay, all I'm gonna do is just pull it out. And you can see that the wheel didn't go anywhere. Now at first I thought it was this captive caliper design, but when I actually took the wheel off and put it back on, check this out. So I'm just gonna push the wheel forward, undo this chain, come down, and the wheel essentially just comes right off. And that was in real time, but watch when I put it back on. You just gotta line up the spacer and then just push the wheel on, watch. And that slides into place. And you can see it spins, and that's 100% due to the design of this chain tensioner. Let me take this off and show you guys further. So if you look in here, there's like a little ramp. It's on both sides. And once the spacer gets to right here, it's perfectly aligned with the hole for the axle. And when you saw me push it forward earlier, I just pushed it forward into here. That way I can get the chain back on. Now, if you've ever owned a Ducati with a single-sided swing arm, you know how easy it is to remove the rear wheel if you have one of these 12-point sockets that are humongous. This one happens to be a 55 mil. So one of the benefits to having a single-sided swing arm was that it's easier to work with. Because again, the rear wheel just comes right off of one side, and you can technically service the chain and the sprocket without having to take off the rear wheel. Now, this may or may not be the first production superbike to have these, but I think it was really smart of Ducati to engineer these for this bike. Because again, this bike is more function over form, but in the case of the single-sided swing arm, the single-sided swing arm was a dream to work on. And now the hollow symmetrical swing arm from Ducati is also a dream to work on. Check it out. I mean, how can you not like that? So while we're still on the hollow symmetrical swing arm, one of my points of concern was this left side. Check it out. So I've seen a lot of bikes go down, and I've taken down a few single-sided swing arms myself. This folds up, and look at that. This side's the first thing to hit. Now I did measure the thickness of this swing arm, and it's exactly or about 5 millimeters. And you can see how hollow it is from right here. I'd imagine when you go down, especially at the track, this is going to take a lot of impact. I've seen a lot of these take a lot of impact and either scrape down a chunk of metal or literally punch a hole in them. Only time will tell if this swing arm can actually survive a crash at the track, during a race, on the streets. Only time will tell, but I like it. It's a great design. Ducati claims a 37% increase in flex over the single-sided swing arm, and they also say it's lighter. I haven't been able to find anything about the differences in weight, but just by looking at it, you can tell it's a lot lighter. I mean, look at this gaping hole on both sides. It's clearly a lighter and more flexible swing arm, and it's a lot easier to work on this swing arm than other single-sided swing arms. So good for you, Ducati. This swing arm, this chain adjuster, it's a work of art. And I know this is from, you know, World Superbike, probably MotoGP, and, you know, World Endurance Racing. It's not new tech, but it is new for production bikes. I'm curious to see what other companies will follow suit with this design, because this is simple. I don't think Ducati can really patent something like this. Okay, I'm going to demo how easy it is to put this wheel back in real time. So, line up the spacer on both ends, and then it should just drop in. Okay, push this forward, get the chain on, back down. Pin goes in, And all you have to do now is torque down your nut. That's it. So for $25,995, you get a Panigale V4 in a base package. You don't get a passenger seat with the passenger fairing, with the passenger pegs. This is all you're getting right here. But you do, you do get the winglets. Which, unlike my old RSV4, these winglets don't seem to be an afterthought. Check it out. You can actually get it up by lifting only on the winglets. It's actually a pretty stout design. I mean, they're just, those things are not going anywhere. And again, looks are very subjective, but to me, I think this is one of the best looking Panigales ever. I mean, the side profile has a lot of similarities to their GP bike. The old V4 did not look like that, and I think that's because, again, this is a function over form. Now, I don't know how well you guys could see this, but if I put my phone in there, that in there, that's the air filter. And if I turn this bar, it's sitting right here, right at the front. It's accessible. You don't have to prop up the tank anymore. You just take off these plastic pieces and then it just pulls right out, which is something I haven't done yet. So let's do it. Okay, please don't at me for my gloves. I am just cold. There's a screw here. It's a 3mm. And let's see if we can get this out without dropping it. Great. And then there's one more screw in the front, which is also a 3mm. Oh. I can actually attack it from here. Yeah, we got it. We got it. Yes. Should just pop out right here like so. Great. And then pull this way. There we go. And then just walk it out. Just like that. Okay, there's 2 more 4mm here. Let's go ahead and undo these. Okay. Okay. We got one. They are very long, so be patient. Okay. And this should just pull right out, I believe. Yeah. Wow. So the airbox is like on a hinge, and it's probably like that on both sides, because look at this side. It looks exactly the same. I'm gonna attempt to try to pull this out. Let's see. Yeah, it'll, come on. It should. Yep. Here. Without the gloves on. Here, come on. Okay, so I did have to loosen this part right here. As you can see, there's 2 of the same screws. It's not as easily removable as you might think, but it is an easier access. Right now I'm just having a pain trying to pull it out, and I don't want to pull it out anymore because I don't want to ruin it. So I'm just going to shove it back in. Okay, we got everything back nice and snug. Again, you don't have to take this plastic piece off. That's just something that I thought you had to do. And again, it's easy access, but it's still not that easy to take off the air filter. But let me show you guys what you get on the display in the cockpit for $26,000. All right, this is the key. It's pretty nice. Has a V4 on the back. Ducati on one side. I'm going to assume that the V4S has an S. Don't ask me how I assume that. But turn it on, get the Ducati logo, red and green, and then an outline of Panigale V4. Again, no S. We have this in sport mode currently, and this is what's on my display. This is a 6.9-inch TFT display. I don't know if this is LCD or if this is OLED, but it's color. In sport mode, we have the tach, the gear indicator, we're in neutral. To the right, tells you if you have your side stand down. On the right side, you have the DTC, DSC, DWC, EBC, ABS, and back to DTC. Left side, we have our mileage counter. I want to say when the bike is on, it tells you what your mile per gallon is. We have a trip, a couple other things that I'm not really sure what these mean. And there's also a trip timer. Interesting. Moving down, you can actually display certain things. So this one is power and torque. Okay, this is your G meter, and if I wiggle the bike here, you can see it going off. That measures your G-forces. We have lean angle and also brake and throttle. And we're back to the regular counter. Now both sides are actually controlled on the left side, which is nice. So this left side of controls the left side of the screen. This right side of controls the right side of the screen. Again, very nice. And I'm noticing a little yellow tint, so I'm going to take my filter off. Okay, right here we have the mode button. I'm going to go ahead and push that. And from here, you can select, using this dial, which mode you want to be in. So there is Race A, Race B, Sport, Road, and Wet. And all these like wet setups, Race A setups, those are where you decide how much level of intervention you want. So power mode, select that. Full, high, medium. Again, this is for Race A setup. We'll go ahead and put it in full. ABS, normally set up in 1. And we have 7 levels of ABS and 8 if you include off, which I still don't know how to turn off. We have engine brake control, quick shifter. You can decide if you want that on and off. I don't know why you would want that off. DAVC, let's see what that looks like. Dynamic traction control, dynamic slide control, and dynamic wheelie control. Now, DAVC stands for Ducati Adaptive Vehicle Control. So this is something you can again select and customize however you like. And you can also select whether you want Race A to be in track or road display. So let's do road. Let's go back and let's go to Race A. And look, it's in the road display, but it's in Race A. Now if I change that back, Race A setup, info mode, track. Now we can choose Race A, and now we're in track mode, which is more standard for what you want to see in a track mode infotainment style. So we have our lap timer here, which you activate with your flash. On the right we have traction control displayed, slide control displayed, wheelie control displayed, engine braking, and ABS. All in big numbers so you can tell. Big gear indicator. Now the mile per hour, oh god, I want to say it's like down here in this corner right there. See that? It's not something you want to pay attention to at the track anyway, so not very useful for a track mode display. Changing the modes is very easy. You just hit the mode, and then you can either hold down this mode button or you can press down this circle. So I'm going to hold down this mode button. Boom. Sport mode. Overall, the display and infotainment and all the different aspects of ABS, EBC, quick shifter, it's all very customizable, which is not something new for superbikes, but Ducati has made it pretty damn simple. I remember on the Aprilia, I would have to press the start button to change the modes, but on this, it's just all on the left side, which is super nice. Now, you can go on Ducati's website and customize an order for this like you would customize a Happy Meal. The only other bike that I can think of right now that would compare to the Ducati V4 is the BMW S1000 RR. Now, for the premium package, you get things like heated grips. You get like a sport exhaust, which, you know, upsell. You get DTC, which is standard, and then you also get DDC, which is dynamic damping control, which is similar to semi-active Olin suspension that you would get on the V4S. You also get forged wheels, and I believe in the premium package you also get navigation. Now, for me to get heated grips on this bike, I would have to buy the heated grips and then activate it in the infotainment. For me to activate cruise control, I have to pay $330 to activate cruise control. Same with the infotainment. All in all those extras, those creature comfort extras are, yeah, it's just more expensive. That to me is kind of silly, but the craftsmanship of the symmetrical hollow swing arm, this little adjuster for what looks like the rear brake master cylinder can be adjusted up or down. Not 100% sure what the hell this is, but I am going to open this up later because I have to take pictures for Woodcraft. They're making us rear sets for this bike. You get a much lighter package when compared to the BMW. The V4S, I believe, is 412 pounds, and then this V4 is 421 pounds, whereas the S1000 RR, I believe, is 434 pounds, and the M1000 RR is 426 pounds. You get the Brembo High Pure brakes. You get the standard really crummy Brembo master cylinders on both sides, because the Ducatis like to have this hydraulic clutch for some reason. And of course you get a higher top speed with more power to the wheel if and only if you're willing to unlock your ECU. Brentoon's been putting out a lot of content on the 25 V4, and they got like 211 to the wheel with a 205 mile an hour top speed with a stock exhaust, an air filter, a flash, and some race gas. We're talking a bike that you can buy the little tuner, pay for the flash, you get a filter that's like $1,000, and you get over 200 miles an hour and 211 horsepower to the wheel. That's insane. The more I learn about this bike, the more and more I fall in love with it. It's definitely the best motorcycle that I have ever owned. Now, under the tank, this is where the battery is stored, and supposedly you can lose about 4 pounds if you switch from the lead acid to a lithium, which we are going to do. I do have the aluminum cast wheels, front and rear. On Ducati's website, the forged wheels is an extra 2,600 bucks, and I saw forged wheels online that were the Ducati forged wheels for 1,800 bucks. It saves you about 2.1 pounds on both. I don't know if it's front or rear or whatever it is, but a total of 4.2 pounds that you save with Ducati's forged wheels. While we're still on wheels, one of the first things I noticed, because I already started at it, I had already started looking at a 520 conversion, but this is already a 520 setup, so there's no need to even convert this to a 520 setup. Okay, so Ellis showed up. Welcome to Two Wheels in Focus. This is a segment of Domomoto, which I just explained to you.
Yep.
What do you think of the Panigale V4? We did altogether 111 miles, I believe, because right now it's 116 and came with 5 miles. How do you feel? I mean, you were kind of getting down on the Panigale.
I think the bike is so smooth, I think I was too confident on it. Because I was trying to keep up with you.
The roads were wet too, ish.
They were a little wet, which
Yeah.
I was a little cautious about.
Yeah.
But the thing glides. The thing moves where you want it to. It's nice.
Now, what's your favorite part about it so far?
Ooh, this is cheating, but I'm going to say weight. It doesn't weigh as much as I expected it to.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to take these corners, especially what we were doing, just moving with you.
Yeah.
Lean. I don't do track days. I've never done one before. So taking this to a back road for the first time, under break-in miles too, it's kind of scary for me, but it's nice.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
So believe it or not, the M1000 RR Abels, stock for stock, right?
Okay.
His bike weighs 426 pounds or 425 pounds, something like that. This one is 421.
That's crazy. And you
without forged wheels, lead acid battery, stock exhaust, 421. So I do plan to upgrade to the lithium battery, which is coming in the mail.
Okay.
That's supposedly about 4 pound loss. And then I got the full exhaust coming in, which is a huge loss in weight.
That's
right.
How much do you think?
I want to say I'm probably gonna lose somewhere between 12 and 15 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So that's almost 20-pound loss right off the gate, like right off the gate, with an exhaust and a battery.
Yeah.
And then the forged wheels, I think I told you like 2 pounds, but it's actually 4.2 pounds for both. For both.
For both?
Yeah. So I don't know what that is in one or the other, but you're gonna lose a good 20 pounds just upgrading little things like that. Not little things, but they're big things.
This bike's crazy.
Yeah.
I love this bike. If I had more track experience, I'd ride this all the time.
Did you see my video on the Swingarm? And how you could just remove the wheel and put it back on really
Have it
easily?
slide onto the swing. Dude, I love that.
Did you see that?
I love. I did watch that. That was so cool.
Can I get your opinion on that? Do you want to see it? How it works?
I kind of want to see it.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. All right. Okay, we're gonna let Ellis take this off and then hear what he thinks of it. Give that a little pop.
I was thinking this way.
Yeah. Yep, and then pull it out.
Oh.
Yeah, just don't. No, you don't have to hold the wheel or anything. Just pull it out.
What?
Yep. Yes. And it stays on, dude. And you can spin it. Look. Okay.
Oh, that's
now
cool. Set this here.
push the wheel forward. Push it. Yeah. Now you can take off the chain. And then just set it to the side. Like that. Yep.
What?
Okay. Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
Pull it out. But like, obviously, be wary of the caliper. So pull it Yeah, up and then turn it to the side a little bit. Yep. That's it.
Holy crap!
That's it. It's out.
it?
It's out. Yeah, it's out.
Oh my god!
Yes.
That's so simple.
It is. Yes.
All right, should I put it back?
All right, now you can put it back, and all you do is you don't have to worry about the rotor. You just worry about the spacers and lining them up to this. And then all you do is slide it on. Okay. Once you got them set, you just push it forward. And that's in.
Shit.
That's in. Yes.
Oh my
now
God.
you can push it forward.
Do it backwards, so push it
push
forward
forward,
again.
get the chain on. Okay, and then let it go. Put it back to its little notch. Yep, and now you can put the pin in.
Oh my god. Put this back in.
Like that, yep. You just tap it in. Yep.
Oh my god. No. No? Holy crap, that's it?
That is it. And then you put the nut on. Okay, what do you think?
Are you kidding me? That took like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Take it off, put it back on?
Yes. Everybody that's been complaining about the single-sided swing arm, you know, one of the things about the single-sided swing arm is the ease of use. Like, it's easy to work on.
Yeah.
Easy to take off the wheel, easy to... But I mean, this is also very easy.
This should be standard.
It should.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but it's not. But it should. This is something from race applications, like endurance racing, probably World Superbike,
Yeah.
and definitely MotoGP, right? Or GP probably has something better, but this is standard now.
If I knew what I was doing, I could have had this wheel off in maybe like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's so cool.
Yeah. But now you do know what you're doing, right?
Now I do know what I'm doing. So
That wasn't that hard to learn.
No, it's super easy. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna get into the seat now that Ellis has seen the rear. We both rode it. I thought it was very, very firm, not comfortable at all. And I also think it has a very aggressive position. Would you mind sitting on it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think of the riding position? Of course, it's you know, on the rear stand,
right now,
but even when you rode it, just in the street, I thought it was very aggressive.
I think for street riding, it's incredibly aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
For track riding, I understand it because you're leaning with the bike. You're always tucked down.
Yeah.
But for basic street riding, you have to be hunched over pretty much the whole time.
Yes. So the fact that it doesn't come with heated grips, you have to pay for the infotainment separate. Like you can hook up your phone to it.
Oh, okay.
And then, but it's like $300 to add that.
What?
Yeah, and then it's $300 to add for them to activate cruise control. Right, so you're looking at $600 without taxes.
Okay.
And then if you wanted heated grips, that's another. I believe the grips, the whole thing is a plug-and-play system. It's like $300 or $400.
Yeah.
You get all of that with BMW's package.
Okay.
Ducati, you have to pay extra. But knowing that riding this on the street is not very comfortable, is that something you would even want? Should people ride this in the streets? Of course they're going to. These weren't really meant to be ridden in the streets.
No, this is Ducati went for more of a track-focused bike here. Mm-hmm. Where it can be ridden in the streets and you can add these like comfortable features for more money.
Yes. Which people are probably going to do.
I think they're 100% going to do.
Right?
You have two audiences here where you have the people track.
Yes.
Leave it as is, change whatever you want.
Yeah.
Make it like as fast as you can. Perform better.
Yes. Like for me, I'm going to change the suspension and I'm actually going to get stiff ass suspension. So the ride on the street is going to be worse.
Worse?
Yes. Which, I mean, you can adjust the preload and stuff like that, but to try to make it softer for street riding.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a track bike. It's not, you know, what I had said in this video earlier was this bike is more function than it is form. And that's the 50-50 of the Ducati owners are saying, oh, we don't like it because it's ugly, it doesn't have the single-sided swing arm. And the other half is like, I like it. It does everything that I would want a motorcycle to do.
Yeah.
I don't think the looks necessarily for me is a game changer or a deal breaker, but for some people the looks is like, it's a big thing. They're like, oh, the last one was the best looking Panigale.
If we're going by looks, they wouldn't be making new bikes with better features, faster, lighter. They'd just be going with like, oh, what looks the best? In which case, I don't think that's Ducati anymore.
No, that's definitely not Ducati anymore. Ducati's always made motorcycles that I feel like they wanted to make.
Yeah.
And Ducati's always made motorcycles that I also feel the audience wants. And I think for the very first time, they just made a bike that just kind of works. And I feel like they knew a lot of people were going to get mad about this swing arm.
I was kind of heartbroken.
Were you?
I love Ducati's single-sided swing arm. However, I understand why they did it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. For me, I kind of always had a feeling like that single-sided swing arm wasn't really performance-based, but more user-friendly base. I also felt like it was more of a Ducati thing, right? You got the single-sided swing arm, that's why you get a Ducati. But when they changed the whole essence of what a Ducati is, a single-sided swing arm, I was excited, man. I was really excited because one, I was very disappointed about the V2.
Really?
Yeah, less power.
Yeah.
Smaller motor, and I think they made the new V2 just an easier bike to qualify in Super Sport World Racing. Because the old bike they would have to, I think they limited the RPMs for the old V2 because it just had too much power to compete in that class.
Yeah.
So instead they didn't bore it out as much. The smaller pistons, less power, and the big seller is, it's got not as much weight. Like it's like one of the lightest super sports on the market.
Yeah, but for less power, less displacement.
See, look at your disappointment on your face.
Yeah, actually, I understand why
Yes.
you're disappointed. Okay.
Yes. And for me, Ducati's always been unapologetic in what they did. And this is a very unapologetic Panigale. And I commend Ducati for making this bike. I love this bike so much. I'm so happy I got rid of the Aprilia. I'm so freaking happy, man. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited for what's to come. Thank you guys for watching Two Wheels in Focus. This is all I got. Do you have anything to add?
It's a beauty.
Yeah,
it was worth the trade.
It is. Yeah, 100%. Okay, we're not leaving yet, but because I wanted to talk about the tank design. This is very old school Ducati-esque. Now it has a really nice little lip for your leg right here to catch on. Also, I don't know if this is a bigger tank, but it is a 4.2 or 4.3-ish gallon tank. Might be 4.4. I know the Aprilia is 4.6, and it was just less than this.
Yeah.
Less than the Aprilia. Still a big tank, because the tank comes down to here. Yeah.
Oh, it goes through?
Yeah, the seat is part of the tank.
Oh, it just goes from... Oh,
Yes,
I didn't know that.
yeah. So this whole thing, so if you... Let's remove the seat. I'll show you.
Well, that's nice.
Okay, it's a 4mm Allen.
Just lift straight up?
Mm-hmm. And then forward. There it is.
Oh, wow.
Yes. That is the tank. And the battery is actually up here.
Under this, like, cover?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is the whole tank. That's how they are to get like a little more than 4 gallons. Pretty cool, right?
Do you think it's also for weight balance?
I don't know what it is.
You have no idea. Okay. I'm just thinking, because if they